Hello, today is the anniversary of the birth in 1906 of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. He was a Lutheran pastor who, when the Nazis came to power, spoke out vociferously against what Hitler was doing, particularly the way he treated Jews, and got involved in a number of subversive activities, not least an attempt to assassinate Hitler in 1944, which failed. He was arrested for other reasons as the war progressed, and then after he'd been detained, papers came to light which showed his involvement in this attempt to assassinate Hitler, and eventually he was taken to a concentration camp where he was hanged at the age of only 39, just a few days before the end of the war. But he wrote some very profound theological works. One really important idea is the distinction between what he calls cheap grace and costly grace. Cheap grace is where you say, well, I'm saved, so everything's okay, I can leave everything to God, he'll forgive me anyway, and all I need to do is just to be a good person. Costly grace, which is what he recommended, was where you accept all those things to be true, but you realise that if you're going to act upon the belief that you have in God, you're going to be getting engaged in the life of the world. You're going to take on the structures which lead to people being abused and oppressed. You're going to make sure that you get involved in what he called religionless Christianity, where what you're doing is following Christ, not doing religious things. He spoke about a world that's come of age and suggested that the human race it should now be taking responsibility for itself. It shouldn't be leaving everything to God. He even talks about living as if God didn't exist, although he knew he did exist, but he was suggesting we should behave in ways that accept full responsibility. And indeed, this is what Genesis says, that human beings have been put in charge of the creation. And he felt we should take that seriously, not always expecting God to do things for us, but to engage as he did in the conflict with Hitler, to engage with really difficult, challenging elements of society. And this was costly grace. This was something which in his own case led, of course, to his death, but it was a way of responding to Christ, which was a way which he really engaged with the life of the world. And I think he has a lot to teach us. I think it's all too easy just to be glad that we can go to church and have a faith in Christ which makes us feel good. This is like caricature, but it's so easy to slip into that frame of mind. Actually, what is demanded of us as Christians is that we get engaged, we get involved, sometimes making decisions which might, like his decision to get involved in the attempted assassination, might take us down paths that we wouldn't have thought were Christian ways of doing things at all. But sometimes taking these on because they're the right thing to do, as we take full responsibility as human beings for our part in making the world that God has made a better place.